The Dallas Cowboys are 2-0, having knocked off the Jets and the Giants. They own New York. Are you buying the Dallas Cowboys? Is this 2-0 start the real deal here? Has Mike McCarthy fixed this team?
Well, time will tell if he's fixed the team, but I do think that they're legit. They got a really good defense, and Dak is playing well, not turning the ball over. Now it's early in the year, I know, but I believe that they're a legit team.
The reason I want to ask about Mike McCarthy is obviously he was your quarterback's coach, I believe, in 1999. Then he was your head coach for a couple of years. They basically ran off Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator, and now Mike is calling the plays. What does Mike bring as a play caller and a head coach that perhaps can help Dak Prescott and that offense?
Well, I think first what makes him, a good head coach, we have to remember he did win a Super Bowl in Green Bay and has had a lot of success. He brings the level of toughness that he portrays to the team. I just remember when we left team meetings, guys are ready to tear the walls down. He has that presence about him. And I think that believability is so important in a leader, whether or not he believes that we can crush this team or even just beat them. He makes you believe that. So I think that that's one of his great attributes. Play calling, I think a good play caller, and I've been around several, and I think what makes them special is not so much the plays, but being able to call plays or design plays that are really suitable to the personnel that you have. So I give you a good example. Holmgren, early in my career, he was calling plays that he had called. He was the offense coordinator at 49ers, and then we hired him as the head coach. So he had coached Joe Montana and Steve Young, two of the greatest to ever do it. And he was calling plays that he had called in San Francisco, understandably so. Well, I was young. I was no Joe Montana. I was no Steve Young. I was raw. And so after, a number of games, he started calling plays that catered to where I was at that point in my career. So fake left side, roll to the right, because I didn't trust the offense. I didn't trust the protection at that point. So the first sign of blitz, even if we picked it up, I was gone. I wanted to use my legs and extend plays because that's where I felt most comfortable. So he started calling plays and designing plays that would do that. And I think Mike McCarthy has that attribute as well. And calling plays is one thing. Calling the plays that suit your personnel. I mean, you can't be a running team if you don't have a running back or you don't have an offensive lineman. But yet, play callers still say we're going to establish the run. You don't establish run unless you have the runners and the horses up front to do it. You don't throw deep balls if you don't have deep ball threats. But yet, play callers do it. If you got Randy Moss, I don't care if you throw it up to him. I could care less because more times than not, you're going to have success with it. And I think Dak seems to be buying into what he's calling, and they've worked well together. And if Dak can continue to play the way he's playing, they have a shot. They really do.
I want to marinate on your point about Mike Holmgren and how he used you early in your career and just how important that is in terms of how much of the quarterback position is a confidence game. Like if you're feeling good and feel like it's almost like a basketball shooter, perhaps. So if you feeling extra confident on the basketball court, the shots just seem to fall. Is that the same thing
Absolutely.
for a quarterback? Because it's
Jason, you're 100% accurate. It's such a confidence game, and maybe for all positions, but quarterback and kicker is probably the most prominent position that confidence is affected. All eyes are on you as a quarterback all the time. All eyes are on the kicker when he's kicking. And, a good example, I feel like Deshaun Watson is a really, really good quarterback. Now, he's not playing that way right now because I think his confidence in his psyche is affected. And I think if he can overcome that and have a good run with a couple of games, I think he can be back to that. But it's such a confidence. You're right, a shooter. They can shoot it from anywhere, blindfolded, and they can make it. Then they have those stretches, or batter, for example. Major League Baseball, you're going to have a slump. And if you have a long slump, they fire the hitting coach and they bring a new one in. What they need to do is hire a psychiatrist and just talk to them like, there's nothing wrong with your hitting. It's in your head. And that's the way I feel about the quarterback position.
And so what I heard you say is, and sometimes I think we hear broadcasters, they may mention it in passing, but no one fully grasps. It sounded to me like early in your career, Mike Holmgren was like, you know what? We're going to run some play action, bootleg stuff, roll Brett out. He's not going to have to worry about the backside. He's only going to have to read one side of the defense. Once we get him going there, then we'll come back later in the season or next year. But we got to get his confidence rolling first. So let's cut the field in half. He doesn't have to worry about every coverage and what every safety and what everybody's doing. He's got the arm. And so if we can just get him to have one or two reads early on, his arm will take care of the rest.
Totally accurate. Once he did that, once he's changed his mindset to, I'm going to call plays that play to Brett's strength right now. And when he did that, we blossomed tremendously, and I gained confidence. Meanwhile, I was studying the drop back, the protection issue, changing protections, learning coverages, learning combo coverages, learning tendencies. All that stuff was really new to me when I became the starter. And so I was having to learn on the fly. So he made it easy on me. You're right. He simplified things. It wasn't the whole field. If they're blitzing one side, we'll roll to the other side. And he wants to use his legs. That's where he feels comfortable extending plays. So let's do that. And we blossomed after that.